And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. A man over here to the left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today, man? Yeah, yeah, we have what like about 26 or like 28 to 30 hours. So I'm sure the countdown is starting over there in the Marcus household. But but before we get too carried away, I want to give a little shout out to my people in Kansas that was affected by the F5 tornado this past night. All of my family members are okay. We had some damages to houses and barns and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but there were a couple of people that lost their lives yesterday. Several people injured. So prayers and all that good stuff to those people that were affected by the F tornado. The F, or I guess it's EF5 tornado infected in Kansas and Missouri this last night. So shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys are all getting taken care of and that kind of thing. So now that that is out, and now that that is out of the way, they got another round coming tonight. So Tornado Alley at its finest there. Uh, yeah, like if you guys have never seen a destruction from a tornado, it is like taking your finger and put it in a anthill. It's just total destruction. So just do not wish that ill will on anybody. So uh, with that being said, speaking of blowing stuff up, the Rockets owner has come out within the last, I don't know, 2 hours or so, hour and a half, saying that everybody, all their picks are on the table for trades to make their team better this coming season. What do the Rockets need to do to improve this team? Period. Is it just coaching staff, players, or both? Like, what are your first thoughts?
$74 million just going to Chris Paul and Clint Capella in the next 3 years. That's not even including James Harden's contract. Um, they have no first round picks. They really don't have any flexibility at all. I mean, it's tough, and I can see where he's going. He what he wants to do. He sees the handwriting on the wall. I don't know if there is much to do. Clint Capella is the only tradable asset. And that being said, Clint Capella doesn't beat the Golden State Warriors. You saw he wasn't as good as even Montrezl Harrell was when the Warriors played the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell is a similar player to Clint Capella, and Montrezl Harrell played a lot tougher, grabbed more grabbed more rebounds, blocked more shots than Clint Capella, and stayed in the game longer than Clint Capella. But the good news is Kevin Durant's probably going to leave the Warriors. So if you could wait it out, Clint Capella can play against the Warriors when they have Kevon Looney in the game. But if they have that lineup of death in the game, Clint Capella is as good as you and I. And he'll just sit over there and drink water. Steven Adams the same way, Andre Drummond the same way, DeAndre Jordan the same way. When these guys go up against the Warriors in that lineup of death, when there's no centers and Draymond Green is pretty much your center, uh, those guys are null and void. The Clint Capellas and even the Montrezl Harrells of the world, those guys are null and void. But like I said, the good news is Golden State's probably going to disband. So it's possible you can beat the Warriors with Clint Capella. Like I said, if Kevon Looney's in the game or Jerebko or guys like that Capella can go up against. And so, man, I really don't know what they could do. I mean, Chris Paul's gonna get like 30 something million next year. I mean, it's almost untradeable. The only thing that I could see on the horizon would be if the Lakers completely missed out on everything. Kyrie, he didn't want to come, and Jimmy Butler said no, and I mean, all Chris Middleton said no. He'll resign with Milwaukee or whatever, and they got so desperate that LeBron James says, "Hey, look, bring me CP3 in. I'm on the last stages of my career. So is CP3. We got to win a title now." And so they go ahead and they trade like the fourth overall pick to the Lakers. The Lakers trade the fourth overall pick to the Rockets, and the Rockets go kind of rebuild and get off the Chris Paul contract. And Rockets get cap room, and then now the Lakers have CP3. That's possible. So I guess I still don't think they win a title. They still need another piece there, but that would be something for LeBron to appease LeBron to run it back with that same young squad. Or probably Houston would probably want a couple of those players. So,
Yeah.
but that's last ditch effort there by Houston to trade to give CP3 to LeBron. I'm thinking, but other than that, you're Daryl Morey can say all that he wants and talk all that stuff that he wants about moving here and moving there, and he's got the owner's permission apparently because the owner has to sign off on that.
Right.
So, but I don't see really what he's not that they're stuck. I don't see what he does to improve that team. They have no draft picks. The like I said, Clint Capella is the only tradable asset. I mean, unless you're going to move off Harden, but I don't think you want to do that in today's game. Harden's fantastic. I know that he didn't survive the playoffs, but I mean, heck, they went up against the Warriors again. He couldn't beat the Warriors. So, I mean, not too many people are going to beat the Warriors. I only think there's one person on the planet that can beat the Warriors, and we'll talk about that soon. Well, we've already talked about it, but we'll talk about it. We'll revisit that topic soon. And James Harden is not that player that's going to beat the Warriors. So I really don't know what they can do. I mean, they're stuck unless somebody wants to take Chris Paul in his last couple years, and the only player I see wanting Chris Paul would be LeBron James. Listen, Greg Popovich would want Chris Paul, but not now. At that time, that ship sailed. That would have been a couple of years ago. We don't want to. Popovich doesn't want a 33-year-old Chris Paul, and then he's bringing back DeJounte Murray. It would stun his development. Spurs are guard heavy, so Chris Paul wouldn't fit in San Antonio either. The Rockets are stuck. Put it to you like that. I don't think there's really anything they can do. They can run it back with the same team. And let me reiterate just real quick, that's not all bad because Golden State's gonna disband. I know that the Rockets couldn't beat the Warriors even without Kevin Durant, and they proved that the last two games. But there's a glimmer of hope when KD leaves. You never know. You never know what can happen. The Rockets, ball could bounce their way. Curry made some unbelievable shots in that game 6. If he misses a couple of those, Rockets could win. It's really a make or miss league in that series as well. I would listen. If you're the teams love to panic right now. They love to go, oh my God, we don't have this, we don't have that. We don't. Just stand pat. You went toe to toe with the Warriors and lost. So is everybody else for the past few years, except for a guy named LeBron James. So chill out. Except for maybe Kawhi Leonard. So just chill out, stand pat. Watch KD walk, and then you'll face the old Warriors. I know you couldn't beat them in Game 6 or 7, but at least you have a better fighting chance. I think Houston should just stand pat and try to add some shooters. That's what they do. I mean, don't push the panic button. You're right there. You're right there. A ball bounces here or there. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. James and CP3, they're probably friends, and like I could see them, sailing off in the sunset together, that type of thing. But then LeBron James is in a must-win situation. Like, Chris Paul is not going to be in that he does not fit that must-win situation mold that he is trying to build there in the LA. We've seen it time and time again where Chris Paul just can't stay healthy, period. No matter if he plays 40% of the games in the regular season or 80% of games in the regular season, he is just not he could just not play 100% night in and night out, and it is like he has just hit that wall just in the last 2 years. Like ever since he signed that big deal with Houston, it's like nope, you are not going to play anymore. Like you are going to be horrible, and that sucks for him. I mean, it's good that he's getting the $39.8 million a year for playing 40% of the basketball games. But anybody that picks up CP3, it is basically helping the Rockets out to get that cap or to hit that. Because I saw a stat on SportsCenter just a little while ago where I believe it's 6 players have $119 million wrapped up for Houston, and the cap projected for next year is $109. So they are $10 million over the cap with just 6 players. And most NBA teams, I believe you roster 12, I think it is. I'm
Yeah.
not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like the Rockets are they're in dire need right now, and really just like what you said, the only trade that would possibly could make sense is James Harden for LeBron James. Like I think that would be a upgrade for both teams because James Harden is a little bit younger. He can help the younger guys in LA a tad bit, and then LeBron James goes to Houston where they have shooters kind of like built around him a little bit.
Right.
So and just to add to that point, people are going to say, well, James doesn't have a no trade clause. No, he doesn't have a no trade clause. So the Lakers can trade him at any point in time that he wants. Will he be happy? Probably not, because he is building a
Yeah.
life after basketball off the court in LA. That's
Right.
why he went to LA. He is
Right.
playing basketball
Right.
just to appease LA, like it kind of seems like. So
Yeah.
LA can trade him at any point in time. So if Houston wants to throw the shed at LA and get LeBron James, I mean, why not? I mean, why not? Why
Yeah.
not? Why not try it?
Yeah, Houston, like you're talking about, all that cap money and tied up to players. Houston has no flexibility. I was talking about more Chris Paul joining LeBron in LA, and then Houston getting the number 4 pick and maybe a player here or there that they want to get out of the
Do you
Chris Paul
really think
contract.
Chris Paul is worth a fourth round pick though? Why wouldn't you just give him like Ball or something like that?
Um, he's worth the first round pick, the 4th overall, because it's not a top 3. It's not the top 3 is kind of, or the top 2 is really coveted. Chris Paul, yeah, you're right. It's going to be on a minute. He's the rest of his career. He's going to be on a minute restriction and a game restriction. He's going to a lot of load management games. But once the playoffs hit around, he's well worth a 4th round pick in terms of him and LeBron being together and winning in the
He is
playoffs.
well worth it
Uh,
for 4 games because he's shown that he can't play a 6 game series.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's why I said it's really a touchy, it's kind of a touchy subject there, because I mean, there's nothing, yeah, there's nothing really the Rockets can do in terms of, I don't think anybody want Chris Paul anyway. I was just talking about latch ditch effort.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If LeBron James wanted Chris Paul to play with him, but really, listen, the reality of the situation, um, there's Daryl Morey's desperate. He's just throwing it out there. There's really nothing they can do. So they're probably going to stand pat and see what happens, and that's probably the best thing. Probably the best thing for them, just to see what happens. Because listen, you make your bed, you sleep in it, man. They're the ones that they owe 174 million dollars to Capella and Chris Paul the next 3 years.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. They're way over the cap now. You mentioned 119 million, the 10 million over the cap or whatever, just on 6 players, man. This is what they wanted. This is Daryl Morey for you. So he's pushing the panic button and telling everybody that everybody's on the trade block. And then the James Harden the James Harden for LeBron James thing. I don't know how much it makes anybody better, because you're swapping great player for great player. I mean, James Harden's still gonna need help, and and LeBron James is still gonna need help in Houston. So
right.
it just kind of it's like, yeah. So there is nothing Houston can do. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I know the people are upset in Houston. Basically, they have that luxury though. They're on to the Astros. Get ready for the Texans. Like they don't they're so fed up with the Rockets right now in Houston. They don't give a damn. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, whatever, dude. Like, we tried it, didn't work. We'll wear our Hakeem Olajuwon jerseys and worry about the '94 and '95 championships. They're more worried in Houston right now. They're more worried about Carlos Correa. Just got put on the DL. He'll be out about a month.
Yeah,
So
I saw that 4 to 6 weeks.
yeah, yeah. So they're more worried about J.J. Watt, I think, getting married than the Rockets. That's a nice problem to have when you got like 3 professional sports franchises.
Right. Well, just to add to your point there, he is the president or general manager, or I'm not for sure what his title is, but he is definitely pushing the panic button over
Yeah.
there. So he's trying to trade players because he must have a good relationship. Like him and the coach must have a really tight like ship that they have there, and like he doesn't want to let the coach go. That's what needs to happen.
Well, I tell you what,
you need to change your offensive scheme.
Yeah, no, the Daryl Morey may have a tight relationship with Mike D'Antoni, but
Yeah.
the owner doesn't.
W- yeah.
And what I've heard is the owner won't even extend Mike D'Antoni. He's like, hey, you know what? You play your last year. Let's see what you do this following year, and then we'll extend you. And that's kind of like coaches hate that last year stuff. They want to be extended because it's almost like they're a lame duck coach. So
Well,
if they start messing up,
he is a lame duck coach. He is
yeah,
a good regular
right,
season coach. Like he can
right,
put up 145 points in a game, but you can't beat a team in
right,
a 7-game series year in and like year out. Something has to
right,
change. You have to take the ball out of James Harden's hands. Like you have to be you had Carmelo Anthony there on your team and you couldn't utilize him because you wanted to keep the ball in James Harden's hands and you wouldn't let Carmelo get in any type of shooting I think when Carmelo like he was on the team, he was getting like 8 or 9 shots a game. It like no player can get in any type of fundamental
yeah,
basketball skill just
no,
playing or just shooting the ball
yeah. I
nine
mean,
times. He's a volume shooter. He needs the ball just as much as CP3 and Harden. So I mean, like
so the,
they had
yeah,
they had the mix. Just the coaching was off.
yeah. I mean, the bottom line is the Rockets are in a bad spot in terms of coaching, personnel, what they're going to do instead of pushing the panic button. Looks like the owner, the GM, and the coach all aren't seeing eye to eye on extending the coach and how they want to play in the future. They're going to have a lame duck coach situation next year. And the players sense this. This is the problem. The players sense this and go, man, we got a coach off a 1 year deal. Damn, we're going to have a new coach next year. So the stability, it really is bad there. The only good news they have for them is they have some good players, and we'll see what happens. They'll probably win another if they stand pat, and maybe they have a mid level exception. Maybe go get a tweak, get a player here or there. I tell you what, if they have the full mid level exception, I would try to get Mirotic over there, another shooter, but he's a free agent. But that's all they have right now is a mid level exception. They're in a little bit of a quandary. Not a total mess. I don't want to overreact. I know I just said mess, but at least they have some good players. They'll win another 52 games next year, probably, if nobody gets hurt. And then we'll see where the chips fall. Their best bet is just everybody, not just the Rockets. Everybody better hope that Kevin Durant leaves and goes to the Knicks or Clippers or something to balance out the NBA. And as soon as that happens, the NBA will be a lot better.
Right. And like I can harp on the Rockets all they want. With this team currently the way they are still guaranteed a 2 or a 3 seed out west because they are a good regular season team, but they will then again get knocked out in the second round or maybe they might make it to the finals.
No,
Just depending on where they seeded at.
they were a fourth seed this year, so I mean they'll still be right around there fourth, mate. But I mean everybody improved. The Rockets could have the running back, the same team, be in a decent spot, be the sixth seed.
Yeah.
That's just the way the West is. The West is tough, man.
Right.
I mean it's crazy. I mean you're gonna have a lot of teams improve, and as soon as Durant leaves, that'll begin the fun because it is really wide open for the number one seed. As soon as Durant leaves, uh, everybody's got a shot at the number one seed, and I mean everybody. The Clippers do. Clippers get Kawhi Leonard, you match him up with Lou Williams. The Clippers will be on their way to the number one seed.
My sleeper team next year is the Sacramento Kings. I love what the
There you
Kings
go.
are doing like out there. I love Fox and all that young talent
Oh my, yeah. The Kings
they
have a
have
lot
there.
of talent.
And
The King,
the
the
Vadi,
Kings,
their
yeah.
coach, the Vadi, what's his name? Uh, old LA basketball guy. Vadi.
Oh, you're talking about Vlade Divac.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think he's the president of the GM.
Yeah,
But
he's
look,
doing
let me
great
tell you
things over
something. The Sacramento Kings finished ninth. The Denver Nuggets finished ninth the previous year, and then the Denver went from 9 to 2.
there. Right.
Hey, you make a few tweaks here or there, Sacramento could be in the top four. They're supremely talented. They're really talented. Now they don't have a Nikola Jokic because I think Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, is one of the top three players in the NBA. I think he's right there behind Kawhi Leonard and the Greek Freak. To be honest, Kevin Durant, yeah, Stephen Curry, but man, I would start a team with Nick. You're talking about starting a team. Nikola Jokic at 22 years old is a good place to start. So, but no, Sacramento's right there. They could go from the ninth seed to the fifth seed, make the playoffs. Absolutely. Denver went from 9 to 2 last year, so it can be done.
Yeah, and all they need is a couple a free agent pickup here or there. And speaking of free agency season, like with just this news that we just talked about with
Yeah.
Houston, free agency is looming just around the corner. So the question arises to you, Mister Marcus the Freak, sports knowledge genius that you are over there. Who's a better fit for Kyrie Irving this offseason? Is it with KD at New York or is it with LeBron in LA?
Wow, great question. I heard that he's buying a house by somewhere in Brooklyn or something. So, man, maybe he's going to sign with the Nets. But to me, that sounds crazy because they have D'Angelo Russell. I mean, and then you got Dinwiddie over there. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That'd be like a Boston Celtics situation again, unless he knows something that we don't know, and they're going to send D'Angelo Russell and some picks and some players to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. Okay, now then you have a Kyrie, Dinwiddie, and Anthony Davis in Brooklyn. Okay, now we're talking. But now if you're not talking about specific trades or anything like that, I guess, man, going back with LeBron, that was perfect there. What LeBron did with you, with what they were able to do, LeBron would dominate sometimes. Kyrie would dominate sometimes. Um, LeBron would take a back seat and say, "Hey, Kyrie, do your thing. Take us home. Win us these games." And it was fun to watch. It really was fun to watch. There are times when LeBron would take over, and Kyrie can stand around and he's a decent spot up shooter. That's when he gets his rest when LeBron's taking over. You bring Kyrie in LeBron. I mean, and Kyrie can catch and shoot with the best of them. So I think that would be a marriage that shouldn't have broke up, and that should be back together. That being said, that's like a short-term goal. If I'm Kyrie and I'm Kyrie's agent, I say, look, you want to try to win a title, and the next LeBron is going to be 35 or something next year, something like that. Yeah, he's going to be 35. He's born in 1984. So um, you're not gonna the window here of winning championships is only going to be a couple of seasons, and really you can't even think like that playing with LeBron. You have to try to win a championship next year. So you'd be under the gun a little bit, and this is what you want. You're in your prime too. I think he's 27 years old. You're in your prime too. You need to get it. Let's get it done. Or you're close to your prime. I think prime is more 29 years old, but you're real close to being at your peak. So if you want to do that again and be with the Lakers, and then you're a free agent, so they don't have to lose Lonzo Ball. They don't have to lose Kuzma and Ingram, so they'll run it back with the same team. And you add Kyrie, they'll be battling for a number one seed. But there's the but. You want a long term like play with a player for like 6 years that's almost at LeBron's level. Play in New York, you're buying your home in Brooklyn or whatever. I guess you'd be closer to the home you're just buying. Um, you're not going to be in LA to fly cross country to the home you're purchasing. You play with Kevin Durant then. Like if you want like a 5 or 6, 7 year window, sign this big. You and Kevin Durant sign this major big deals like to end your careers there. Like sign both of y'all are going to sign like a 5 year, $170 million contracts or whatever the max that New York can offer you under their cap. That's probably a better position to be in. And then you're going to get R.J. Barrett, the third pick in the draft. So that's a tough decision. It depends on what Kyrie and his people want to do. Do they want to do a short term with LeBron and win title now or bust? And then eventually the Lakers will become his team, though, as soon as LeBron leaves. Does he want that? Or does he want to pair up with KD, with the Knicks, and play long term there and have more opportunities to win championships? It won't be like a 1 year bust situation. It'll be a 5 year plan, 5 year, 6 year plan with Kevin Durant. That's just a philosophy that I don't know what Kyrie's people are thinking in terms of that. I would lean, as much as I love LeBron and I'd love to recapture that magic. If I'm Kyrie, I would lean playing with Kevin Durant with the Knicks because I'd have a longer term stability. I'm in the Eastern Conference. Longer term stability in that I have Kevin Durant with me.
Yeah.
For 5 years, 6 years. LeBron in 6 years, he'll be doing a podcast and he'll be making movies and he'll be doing other things. He's not going to be on the basketball court in 5 or 6 years. But Kevin Durant will be. And then they have a chance to get, better players to surround the Knicks with those two there. So, and they're getting RJ Barrett for 4 or 5 years. So that's a big deal to me. I probably would go Knicks instead of the Lakers with LeBron.
Yeah. if you are thinking in a career standpoint to a place to end your career, to possibly become a dynasty like Golden State has over the last couple years here, um, New York definitely has to be the place to go to be, because you do have Kevin Knox for another 4 years there. You'll have R.J. Barrett there for 5 years. You have KD more than likely. I'm not for sure how many years he'll be there. Probably, let's say 3 or 4 years. Like he signs a 3 or 4 year deal. So you have that core of the team right there that will be
Mhm.
there for 4 or 5 years to come
Right.
up. So you have an opportunity to make a great thing out there in New York. But you have to look at things as a professional athlete standpoint. I guess you can say it is all about winning championships now. It is all, what have you done for me now? Not what can you do for me in 5 years down the road. What have you done for me in the past? What can you
Right.
do for me right now? If Kyrie, as a free agent, joins with
Yeah.
LA, they can win a title right now. With just adding Kyrie to that current team, they are, I don't want to say easily, but they are in a very good running to make it to the finals year in and year out
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the next 3 years. So, and then we have to look at what has expired or transpired all throughout the year. Kyrie texted James, or James
Yeah.
texted him. Like one, either or, they are starting to mend that bridge. So
Yeah.
there was some foreshadowing happening here there. You want to use a production term, building a movie. They are making a movie
No, no.
right now. Like they
I,
are,
I agree.
yeah. So
No, I agree with your Laker assessment. People might laugh at what we're saying, like, oh, just Kyrie with the Lakers and they can win a title. Yes.
yeah,
Um, if Kevin Durant leaves the Warriors, right? That's probably going to happen, right?
yeah,
You can't tell me that definitively that the Golden State Warriors with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Stephen Curry and Iguodala could just beat, like no problem, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram. Like Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, dude. Like that thing will go 7. I mean, they beat you once already. Do you remember that in 2016?
right.
Kyrie and LeBron did, and so now they'll have Kyle Kuzma and Ingram and Ball on the court, maybe Hart. Um, that's almost as good a cast they had at Cleveland, if not better. And I know everybody's a little older, more mature, but that would be an epic series.
It would be a
So
great series, and
a great
I
series.
would like to see that series for the next 3 or 4 years. What think LeBron has 3 years left on it? 3 years left on his deal. So
Yeah,
I mean, and if Kyrie doesn't want LA to be his team in the future,
right.
sign a 3 year deal. You know,
Yeah,
after uh, James is done, you can go
right.
back to Cleveland. You can go back to New York. You can go
You go to
to
yeah,
you can go
wherever.
to the Nets.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, you can do what you need to do at that point. But as a standpoint, in my eyes, looking 5 6 years down the road, joining the Knicks is the logical
Yeah, it is logical.
explanation here. But we are in the sports world, and it is, what have you done for me now?
Yeah.
And if you want to win
I,
now, if you want to make your
thi-
money now, go to LA.
this is going to be a crazy summer. I don't see anybody. You know how that term we've talked about for the past couple years. You bet on yourself.
Yeah.
So you sign like a 1 year deal, or you make this trade and let's see if this works for this 1 year. This summer is not going to be that. I've heard people saying Kevin Durant's going to re-sign with Golden State for 1 more year and just keep on, then he can. No, this summer is not going to be that, man.
No.
This summer, Tobias Harris isn't going to bet on himself anymore. Tobias Harris is going to go somewhere and sign a 4 year, $130 million deal. Kevin Durant's going to go get stability and go to the Knicks and Clippers and sign 4 years, $140 million. Their 5 years, their max offer. Kyrie's not going to do Kyrie's not going to do a 1 year, $25 million with the Nets. No, all that. This summer, people are going to get paid. They want their bag of gold or their whatever, their money. It's a term I'm forgetting right now, but yeah, they want their money this year. People are going to sign 4 and 5 year deals in this offseason, and they're going to go to teams, and they're going to be kind of stuck with those teams. I don't think you'll see any of these top free agents this year signing 1 year deals and betting on themselves anymore, or any kind of silly trades. I mean, this is going to be a free agency of Chris Middleton's going to sign with the max with Milwaukee. Mirotic is going to sign with the max, or a half a max, or 3/4 of a max with somebody. Tobias Harris is going to sign for somebody for as much as he can. This is going to be a max contract summer, and that's why it's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, and I think LeBron James, he started that trend of a 1 year deal, 1 year deal, 1 year deal, and he signed a 4 year deal. So that
Yeah,
trend was broken. People, whether you want to admit it or
yeah,
not, LeBron James makes or breaks this league. They follow what he does,
right.
even if it's from joining this team over here in Cleveland or Miami or LA, to the 1 year deal to the 4 year deal. So
Right.
like, look for everybody to do exactly what you just said, and look for a 3, 4, 5 year deal,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what LeBron James did.
Right. And then also, this summer will be somewhat about LeBron, but it'll be the first summer where it's not really about LeBron in terms of him being a free agent. He's with the Lakers. He's stuck there. I
He
think he's
he
an
can still
idiot.
get traded though.
No, there's no way. There's no way. There, LeBron James is the best thing that the Lakers have. There's no way they would trade him. He's the only thing that he does his job better than anybody there in the Laker organization. So they wouldn't trade their best asset. They're going to try to add. They're going to add pieces around him. But this is the first year where he's not the head honcho in
Yep.
terms of player power. That head honcho is Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
They're going to determine where everybody goes. And as crazy as this sounds, this is not my opinion. So I guess I differ from the basketball GMs of the world. I guess, who am I? I don't know too much, but what I'm hearing is Kevin Durant is the main guy this summer. Even the Clippers are going to go after Kevin Durant more than Kawhi Leonard. That's going to be the first guy they talk to. Kevin Durant is going to decide the summer in terms of he's going to be the first domino to go. That's why he's already getting feelers out who would join him, here and there. And that's why you hear that rumbling. Kevin
Yeah.
Durant is out the door. Out the door. He won't even, I don't even think he's going to play in this series, because I also heard reports that his injury is worse than what we thought they've been kind of lying on it. They've been fibbing on it. And I don't think they're going to bring Kevin Durant back for, because they've been playing so well, all of a sudden start doing ISO, some movement, but they'll go back to ISO ball. I don't think they're going to do that. I think the only way they bring Kevin Durant back is maybe if they're down 0-2, that's possible. But I don't think Kevin Durant's going to jeopardize his future on it with his calf. He hurts his calf again big time, and that's bad news for free agency.
Right.
But Kevin Durant is the main domino in this situation here. I'd go after Kawhi Leonard personally. Kawhi Leonard would be the guy I talk to, all right, first, and then I talk to Durant. But from what I'm hearing, everybody's Durant is Beyonce, and then Kawhi Leonard is Ariana Grande. We'll get her. We'll get her if Beyonce can't come to the festival. So
which kind of makes sense, because the way he is playing in Toronto right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to stay there, possibly.
Yeah.
Mean like the Spurs could have been, kind of just sitting him there just to be kind of poking the bear, and they poked the bear enough to where the bear likes it up there and playing well.
Right.
So why
Well,
kind of kill that vibe that you have happen up there? Especially if you win a championship and you beat the almighty Golden State. I mean,
yeah.
why not stay there?
Now, you know what? I just mentioned that everybody's going to be in free agency and everybody's going to sign these max deals. Kawhi Leonard on the outside is the only one that may not do that if he stays in Toronto. See, my personal opinion, I don't think he stays in Toronto even if they win a title. I think he holds up the Finals MVP trophy in one hand, holds up the other trophy in the other hand, and say, Toronto, look what I brought you. Thank you. See you later.
Peace.
Thanks for the memories. Yeah, think about it. I'm a Toronto fan. Are you mad at Kawhi Leonard? He got thrown in there. He didn't ask to go to Toronto.
Right.
He got traded there. The Spurs thought, you know what, we'll send you to Toronto. We'll send you to the Eastern Conference, not even in America, whatever. And and yeah, absolutely. And
Furthest away possible.
yeah, he didn't ask to be there. So I think that he will say bye to Toronto. I think his main objective is to get to the Los Angeles Clippers or Lakers. I wouldn't rule out the Lakers either, but I think he'll get to. I think he'll be a Clipper. And yeah, I mean, I think he leaves. Think about that, man. If you're a Toronto fan, how can you be mad at Kawhi Leonard? I'd wear a Kawhi Leonard jersey for the next 20 years in Toronto. That guy brought me my championship, so I wouldn't be mad at all. I mean, but that being said, let me go back to what I was going to say. He might sign, like if he has like a little bit of a heart and goes, yeah, I guess we'll see if we run it back. He might sign like what Kevin Durant signed in Golden State. Kevin Durant signed a 2-year, like 40-something million-dollar deal with a player option after the first year.
Yeah.
So Kawhi Leonard with Toronto will sign a 1-year, 50-something million-dollar contract. So for 1 year to run it back, see if they can be back-to-back champions, and then he'll have the player option for that second year. So Kawhi Leonard might bet on himself like that, but he would be the only one. I don't see that happening. I see Kawhi Leonard raising the Finals MVP trophy and the regular trophy, and I see him signing with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, it's what free agency starts here in about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
I guess about a month. So only time will tell. It's the only thing happening for that month before football starts. So it's going to
Right.
be in a very exciting time.
It's
Speaking
exciting.
of football, our beloved Dallas Cowboys,
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Ezekiel Elliott got into a scuffle last month at a musical festival in Vegas. First of
Right.
all, what is this guy doing drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning in Vegas? I understand it's the off season, have a good time, but you need a posse around you, man. You're making too much money. People have the eye on you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But does red flags start being raised about Zeke because his contract is coming up next year or 2 years? I'm not for sure. You are the guy
Yeah,
to
2
know
years.
that
2 years.
for sure. So
2 years. Yeah.
when it's time for a contract extension, uh, the last couple off seasons he's gotten into trouble. Does this raise red flags for the Cowboys? And are his days starting to be numbered in Dallas?
Well, yes and no. It doesn't. I don't think his days are numbered yet, but yes, does it raise red flags? Absolutely. The flags were raised even before this incident at 4 something in the morning with his girlfriend wearing a see-through thong or whatever it was she was wearing. I mean, knocking down a security guard. Like, dude, what are you doing, Zeke? I mean, get paid first. I know you're getting paid. I know you were the fourth overall pick in the draft, and that's fourth overall pick in the draft is nothing to sneeze about. You get paid much higher than you. Like, he's making a lot more money, even though they're on rookie contracts, than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's making, a few $100,000.
Yeah.
Zeke, I think Amari Cooper is even scheduled to make, $13 million next year. These are rookie contracts. They were both the fourth overall picks in their respective drafts. But man, what are you doing, man? Like, just chill out, man. Like, you've got to know better than being out at 4 a.m. And if you are, you got to be out with a couple of people, some bodyguards or something, or your friends to steer you away from any kind of foolishness. Like if I'm there with Zeke and his girlfriend, I'm saying, Zeke, get to the car. Zeke, let's go. Sorry, I'd apologize to the security guy. Sorry, like we're not. He's not coming near you. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like
Right.
Get to the car. Grab your girlfriend. It's if you really want a big contract, man, it comes with responsibilities, man. Like, and he just keeps doing the same old stuff. Nothing major. I mean, he's not going to jail. He's not.
It is
he's
just it is
he's being a
immature
kid,
stuff. It is
Yeah.
not professional.
Right, but he's gotta know better than that. And he's also gotta understand the big picture. He's a running back.
Yeah.
You think at 34 years old, he's gonna be making $7 million? Yeah,
Nope.
man, 34 years old. Yeah, he'll be in the Cowboys training camp, all right, Michael. You know what he'll be doing? He'll be showing the other second round, first round picks what to do. He'll be making about $50,000 a year. So hey, then he can go out and push all the security guards he wants.
Yep.
Then
Because right
hey,
now, every
Yeah.
camera, if people see him out, every camera is turned on watching his every move. You are
By
exactly
the
right.
time,
He has to
yeah,
have a posse around him. 100%.
yeah, by the time he gets mature enough to understand what we're talking
It's
about,
too late.
his playing days will be over.
Yep.
And so yeah, he's got to be careful here. The Cowboys already experienced this with Des Bryant. Um, you know, Pop had a thing with Ginobili, and I have a little inside information on it. Not too many people know about, but when your production outdoes your craziness, and Ginobili didn't have anything off court. Let me just make this clear. But in terms of on the court, his crazy passing, when the production um, it is not higher than the silliness on the court, it's time to reel you in. And so they used to have a Ginobili meter, a long time ago. Like what with Zeke, you got to have a meter like that. If your production um, is in jeopardy, if it's not as good as your silliness off the court and stuff like that, then it's not going to mesh very well. Now, his production on the courts, I mean, on the football field has been great, but Dallas is not going to fool around with this stuff. They dealt with it with Des Bryant. It's just not going to. It's not going to work. So he's hurting. To answer your question, he's hurting himself on a long term deal there. At least get the Le'Veon Bell money. The 4 years, $52 million, $35 million guaranteed, $13 million a year. And that's what Zeke's in the market for. Maybe even a little better than that. But if you have to babysit a guy at night, it's just not conducive to having a good organization. Maybe the Cowboys don't care about that, but I would if I was running the Cowboys. I would care about this.
Yeah. I see right here on the TV, Zeke is seeking a long term deal right now as this news just came out. I am very I news like this kind of hits me the wrong way. Like because it says right here on the feed earlier this month. So that was 29 days ago this happened. Why is it just now coming out in the like in the news? Did the guard not get paid enough cash to keep hush? Did something else happen? I mean, like, why does this stuff take so long to come out?
This came out. This was a couple weeks ago. No, this came out right away. I think it came out pretty much right away. And the guard, to his credit, the security guard could have actually pressed charges on Zeke. Isn't that crazy? Just to be knocked down. But the security guard said no. Security guard was fine. He didn't take any money. It's just Zeke being stupid.
So like, I mean, like, I don't understand why the news about it is re-amping itself. Then, if it came out just like when you said,
because he's
like
trying to
when first
negotiate a
said.
new contract, and this is just another thing. Like when he
Okay.
pulled the girl's shirt up, it's just a pattern of behavior. So that was the latest thing a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, it just hurts in negotiations, and now there's talk that he could be suspended. Because the commissioner's looking at Zeke pretty well there, and you don't have to be convicted to get suspended, man. It's contract detrimental to the NFL,
Yeah.
and so pushing down a security guard that could be a 1 game suspension, and
Well,
then he would miss the Giants game on Sunday Night Football
and
just
would
for pushing down a security guard for being a dumbass,
yeah,
and that's stupid.
we see it. You you can get suspended for stuff that you are not even proven guilty for in the court of law, but you can still be suspended for it. So, like, I would definitely probably count on him getting suspended for a game, if not two, just for his
Listen, if
previous
I was
actions from
if
last
I
year.
was Ezekiel Elliott's dad, I'd have called him the next day after he woke up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd wait till about then. And I'd call him and I'd say, hey, congratulations, son. The security guard's not going to press charges on you. You didn't get arrested, but you're affecting your long term contract. You may or may not be affecting your long term contract. And congratulations, Roger Goodell's going to suspend you for the Giants game. So good luck. I mean, get ready for week 2. I mean, that's just dumb, dude. That's
Yeah.
just dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. I'm going to be mad if he gets suspended because I don't think maybe it's a big enough deal to get suspended. But what happens is it's a pattern of behavior. And so if he jaywalks, he'll get suspended.
Yeah. Speaking of getting suspended, I saw this 2 days ago. The Patriots' new tight end Ben
Watson?
Watson has been
Yeah.
suspended for 4 games
Yeah.
for I believe it was marijuana. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
It just said a pattern of like abusive drugs.
Right.
So like he becomes a patriot, joining the Patriot way, and you
Yeah.
get suspended for for 4 games right off the bat. Hopefully he has a great year, or this
Right.
could be his last year, like
Well,
for the
well,
Patriots.
it was gonna be his last year. He started, I guess, smoking marijuana and stuff, thinking he's retired, and then the Patriots called him. He's like, "Damn, I don't want to turn that down.
Yeah,
That's another couple $1 million for my career. So I'll play one more year. Hey, if the Patriots call, I'm coming, because I think he played with the New Orleans, and he was retired.
yeah.
And Patriots must be getting desperate because you lose Gronk, right? And they signed Austin Safari and Jenkins from the Jets. Now
Hmm.
they're signing Watson. So they're getting a little desperate. I mean, they need to replace that. But hey, Keneal Henry, their first round pick, I love him at 32. I've heard they're going to put him in the Gronk situations and passing downs. What is he? 6'2" and a half, 6'3",
He's a big
235
body.
pounds from Arizona State. So they're getting a little desperate though by signing these tight ends. Watson on the last, like I said, they pulled Watson off the couch off his bong. Yeah, he was smoking weed when they called probably. It was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'll be there. I'm gonna fail the test, but man, I will be there. You'll get me for week 5. And Belichick said, "Cool beans, baby." And so
Well,
yeah, they're getting a little desperate there. And so now,
all they need him for is for the first 8 weeks, because after week 8, he is going to come back, and then
right,
Patriots will be fine again. And
yeah,
then
no,
like you'll have
Gronk will be on a
Gronk on the sideline.
yeah, uh, yeah, they'll make that call to Gronk like week 17.
Yeah.
He'll be on a cruise boat, dancing naked with strippers, and he'll get the call, right? He'll be like, "Hey, Ben Watson was caught with a bong on the airport. Austin Safarian Jenkins is on the injured list. Keneal Henry's not a tight end, baby. Let's go. Let's win the Super Bowl." And he'll be on the way. Gronk will dance his way to the first playoff game for the Patriots there.
And he
So no,
won't even have a shirt on.
yeah, he'll dance all the way there. Hey, I see it. I see Gronk playing in the playoffs next year. I said he's so young to retire. Now, if Gronk was like 36 or 37, I'd say no. But I mean, he's what is he, 30, 31 or something? So
Yeah.
I see him coming back.